we're live! Welcome to Junction, everyone. Sorry we're late, but it just wasn't that right. We're here today, as always. I'm the host, probably not going to be online, but options always. Unless you have some good days. I don't know. That's they've got them staggered to where they're coming through. You know what? If he says the music's too loud, it's because I forgot to lower the music. It wasn't loud for us. I forgot to pull it down. Thank you, Fizz. I probably would have continued to forget if somebody didn't say that.
We're all off kilter. It's Friday instead of Thursday.
Yeah.
My fault.
Yes, but anyway. What I was saying is that I was apologizing for us being late, and we don't really have a lot of positive things to talk about today.
Well, we'll find
Yeah. I guess briefly, so we don't talk about it very long, because I don't have too much to say. I can't talk about the new Genshin update. I think I mentioned this before that it was coming up. They added a new mode called Miliastra Wonderland, which is basically a second game inside of Genshin Impact that you still have to launch Genshin to get into. But it is a user-generated content mode similar to like Roblox or Fortnite or Minecraft, where you could just like make a server and you could put games in the server and stuff like that. So it dropped.
Pretty cool.
There's some cool things. There's some not so cool things about it. The cool thing is how early into the game you can get to it. So if you're somebody who just doesn't really give a shit about Genshin in general, like but you maybe like the aesthetics, maybe you think the mechanics are cool. The physics in Genshin are actually pretty good and malleable, so there's some cool things you can do with it as you start working with it. But you just don't care about the story, you don't care about the characters, all that stuff. Well, you literally only have to play maybe half an hour of the main story of Genshin to get to Miliastra Wonderland. Maybe even shorter if you mash through and you know what you're supposed to be doing. You just have to get to the ability to wish, right? To do the character summons. Once you have that, you have it unlocked, and you can just say, fuck off with the rest of the game, and you can play the UGC stuff. I think that's actually a good decision for them. Because, hey, maybe they'll bait some people to want to play the main game after they get used to the custom games. You're like, maybe I'll give the rest of this game a try or whatever. Other cool things, none of the currency between the two games are connected, so you're not required to play one or the other to get stuff for the other one. You can just invest in one or the other. Some of the games are all right. I feel like I'm not going to criticize the playable games right now because it literally just came out this week and people haven't had too much time to get into it. I think the only things that were available on launch were some of the stuff from the beta test that they allowed, but even they only had like a month or so to test it out. I feel like give it a couple weeks and maybe there'll be some fun stuff on there, like some genuinely interesting fun stuff. The entire gacha is just outfits, so if you don't care, if you're like, default options are fine with me, you're good, You could just ignore the gacha. It's basically Infinity Nikki gacha, is the UGC mode. And that's kind of the positive stuff.
God, so you reminded me.
Yeah.
Remind me on Monday. We need to talk about Infinity Gacha. because I don't know if you knew this, but it is available on High Dive. And
I forgot
so
what
far,
that is. Oh wait, is that the one where the person just like endlessly re-rolled or whatever, and they have like a harem of women? The one that I
Yeah.
said sounded pretty bad.
It's decent. And it's not lewd. It's definitely not ecchi. It's just a good what do you call it? Battle shonen kind of thing.
No, yeah. I'll try to remember to remind
talk
you.
about Thanks.
Um,
I didn't think it was on in the States, but it is. Anyway.
Yeah, but so it's basically Infinity Nikki Gotcha. You can kind of ignore it. So here's the bad part. The Gotcha is pretty easy to get currency for, but you can only use free currency for the free banner. Like there's a separate banner. It's just like a standard banner. And there's plenty of stuff for you to get in there, but you have to pay if you want whatever the limited banner is. You can't use free currency, which actually makes it worse than Infinity Nikki because you can use the free currency for anything in Infinity Nikki. You have to actually spend money to get like the current Halloween witch outfit that's on the banner if you want it. And it's pretty bad.
You can't spend in-game currency?
No.
Like
you have to load up as it is right now.
Wow.
So, and these banners, a lot of them are pretty bad when you consider how much it would cost to get something at max pity. And the reason you overlook how expensive it could be. We're talking like $300 to $400, right? To get the full outfit at max pity. It's about the same as getting a character at max pity. You overlook it because it's like, well, what are the odds of even having to spend that money? Because you get so much from playing the game anyway, right? So it kind of is like you're getting a discount from playing the game. And you could get lucky. But if you can't actually get that discount from playing the game, that actually makes the system really bad. It's like you might have to spend an actual $300 to $400 to get a full outfit.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's awful.
$400.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It is probably, I would say, the most egregious gacha that Hoyo personally have ever done. And that's including the fact that the Genshin weapon banner used to not have, like, pity at all.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
I guess, but are there outfits that you can get for free?
Oh, yeah, there are outfits. There's plenty of stuff you can get, but only the standard banner, right? So eventually, if you run through it enough, you're probably just going to get everything. Maybe they'll add more over time. I don't know if this banner system is going to last the way it is. There might be enough backlash after a bit that they might have to rethink. They might at least have to find some way of letting you unlock some pulls on the limited banner, at least through like a pity system, right? Like maybe you could exchange the pity currency from the other banner at a lower rate to get the limited pulls. I don't know. They could at least do the one where you get 5 free pulls every month for both banners in all of their games using the pity currency. And they don't even have that for this game at all. It's like it's not even something that will be in the shop.
Yeah. Well, I guess they had to start making. Well, I didn't really have to, but
Yeah.
they decided to start making money like crazy now.
Yeah. The cool part is, though, you can bring your custom character into the main game. They are a playable character that is separate from the Traveler. You don't even have to use leveling mats on them or anything like that. You level them strictly from increasing your rank in the UGC mode. And they will automatically be leveled. So you can have a custom avatar running around the map with your friends in Genshin. But it's like, so far, rough launch, it's probably more negative than positive. I've enjoyed what I've played. Like it is fun to run around, but it's not a good start.
That's too bad. I thought it looked fun. I mean, I guess it was seemed like it was fun at first.
It definitely is.
Ooh, interesting. But at least they'll, like you said before about it, there'll be some more interesting content as time goes on because people have hardly had time to, figure it out.
I saw somebody was making like to scale Among Us on Twitter. Like they were showing the work in progress for it, and it was going to be in first person because they do let you set whether you want it to be like bird's eye view, third person, regular Genshin, or if you want it to be like first person or whatever. It's like, Among Us would actually be a lot more interesting in first person because then you'd have like that tension of not being able to see somebody walk up on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder, have they put out like terms of service or any kind of comments about things like IP protection?
Yeah,
like
you actually have to read through. Well, you don't have to. You could just scroll down and skip. But there is a couple notices. One main notice about creating things and stuff when you first join Millie Astro Wonderland. And it's fine because it's like, one, just don't call your game the name of the thing you're ripping off. But it's all, you have to use Genshin assets, right? Like you can't currently at all import assets to the game. So at best, all you can do is recreate the mechanics of something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that all you have to say?
I think that's it. There was a Star Rail special program this morning, which is why I went to bed later than I have been because I stayed up to watch the special program. But there really wasn't anything interesting in that either. The main character, your avatar, the Trailblazer, is going to be able to get hats now. That was kind of cool. Was there anything else? I actually sent some stuff to a friend. Let me go tab over to the DM and see if there was anything interesting in that list real quick. It was pretty short. Oh, and the other thing is that they're adding the old character Topaz to the exchange. I forget what it's called, the Golden Companion Spirit Exchange or whatever. And they're giving you one free currency for it, so you could just go pick her up, or one of the other standard banner characters are missing, or Lucha and Ranmei, who had previously been added to the banner. So that's kind of cool. Aside from that, there really wasn't anything interesting in that either. It's just going to be, it's more of the same. It's like if you like Star Rail, you'll like it. If not, you don't care. That it wasn't. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a groundbreaking one that was adding things that might draw more people into the game.
Well, okay. I guess it wasn't so much as good a news as I thought.
No, not really. I'm enjoying the story patch in Genshin. I mean, that's good. That's way better than the new mode they added to it. Like I haven't finished it. I'm halfway through the second act, and they added 2 acts, so I could finish it in time. Problem was, like, from a storytelling perspective, it's pretty good in the fact that they're not making you run around everywhere. You're kind of like, once you enter the story, you're just in this immersive storytelling mode, right? But the problem is also, it's a live service game, so you could be kicked off the service at any time and have to like restart whatever 15-minute cutscene you're in or whatever. It's like, oh man, I gotta watch this again. The other thing is because it's this immersive storytelling mode, which actually has a lot of mechanics. I don't have a problem with this like I do when Star Rail does it, because they've been removing most of the mechanics from the game and the fun stuff you do in between the people talking. It's hard to find a stopping point though. Like where is it okay to stop this session? Because I don't know when the scene is going to end. I don't know when I'm going to be at a spot where I can actually just log out of the game at any point. Mm-hmm. It's like, for an offline single-player game that gives you plenty of save spots, that's a cool mode. For a live service game, it's a little stressful because it's like, I've been playing this for a long time. I kind of want to stop playing. Are you going to give me a spot where I can stop playing now?
Yeah.
So I can come back and play more of this later?
Well, what happens if you're in the middle of something, like, can you not pause? Can you pause the game?
Oh, I could pause. Like, if I just wanted to, I don't know. Can't turn the TV off with your setup because that also puts the PlayStation to sleep. But, like, for a normal person, I could, like, pause, change the channel, walk away, come back later.
But you can't put it to sleep?
No, well, I mean, I guess you technically can, but if you did, it would be no different than logging off because when you're asleep, you disconnect from the server. That's the issue with these being live service games.
Yeah, because I'll be playing Dave the Diver, Fantasy Life or something, and like I'm in the middle of something, but I'm about to pass out, so I just put the switch on sleep, and as soon as I bring it back up, it's still there.
Yeah. But you can't do that when the game itself is on a server.
Yeah, I couldn't do that in the middle of Splatoon. Like, everyone, could you pause the battle for a moment? I need to sleep. I'll be back in 8 hours.
Yeah. And like, even if you tried it the other way, I think you have to go and mess with the PlayStation settings. Even if your smart TV didn't put the PlayStation to sleep when you turned the TV off, if you left it idle there for like 10 minutes, and the PlayStation would put itself to sleep.
Yeah, it is set to do that. Oh well. Yeah, so that sucks that they don't give you more moments when you can just like stop and come right back to where you left off.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's by demand. A lot of the audience, and I just don't agree with this portion of the audience, they like the longer, more immersive storytelling. Right, like that's how they want it. I like dungeon sequences. This one gave me more of a dungeon sequence than we've had in the previous ones, so that was cool. But I'm playing through the beginning again on the account for this channel, because this channel has its own account. And playing through the beginning, it's like, that's not a problem I find. Like, a scene doesn't last any more than 5 minutes tops, and the scenes aren't almost ever back-to-back, and there's plenty to do in between. Like, when I'm playing the early Genshin stuff on stream, I feel like I could stop anytime I want. Like, maybe it's like, okay, I started something, I have to wait 2 to 5 minutes before I'll be able to stop. But 2 to 5 minutes is no time at all to wait to be able to stop the game.
Yeah. It's going to be another 45 minutes before I can stop. Imagine the kids, when I was a kid. Of course, when I was a kid, there's no such thing as putting your console to sleep.
No, it was on or off.
Yeah, it was like, just another 5 minutes, Mom. But, if you couldn't find a save point or even earlier, get a password to come back to where you left off.
Yeah. And, like,
oh, no.
Genshin historically hasn't been that bad when it comes to that. Even with them getting longer per patch, both acts, right, because they gave us Act 3 and 4, are about 3 hours each-ish, right? So you could finish Act 3 and come back and do Act 4 later. I'm just in the middle of Act 4. They're nothing compared to Star Rail, where there's been plenty of times where it's like, I beat the boss, and it's like, I kind of want to go to bed now. But now I'm stuck in scenes in Star Rail for an hour and a half after I beat the boss. And it's just like, when is this going to end? When are you going to let me leave, game?
Let my people go.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Well, I do have some good news.
You do? Cool. That's something good before we get into... I say rants. It's probably mostly going to be making fun of the game industry because they deserve it. But what good news do you have?
Well, I have good news if you want to make fun of the game journalism industry.
Okay.
And that is that the video game website The Gamer has suffered widespread layoffs.
Oh, okay.
Apparently...
One of those ones I've never liked.
Yeah, it's one of the worst. It's absolutely the worst. Like, I've been shocked. Like, I hadn't heard of it when I first started it, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and just going through it, I'm like, oh my God, this site is awful. It's just like nothing but politics. Like, do you guys ever talk about games? Um, they say there are entire section teams that have been decimated, but I don't think that, unless
Yeah.
decimated means 90% and not 10%. I think it's I think it's worse
Yeah,
than
decimated is actually only supposed to mean 10%.
Yeah, there have been entire. Apparently, let me see, which was it? Oh, the entire features team was laid off. I don't know what that is exactly, but yeah, sounds like it was a bloodbath. So,
I also realized we're in the wrong event right now, for some reason. Let me fix that while you're talking. Yeah, we're at Super Serial Showtime for some reason.
really?
Yeah,
Six
yeah.
games.
No, not on
Oh, the wrong event.
in Discord, not on the YouTube. We're fine there.
Sorry. Yeah, it's really.
Oh my God, it killed us. I didn't think it was gonna do that. Let's get back in. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was actually going to close the stage doing that.
I'm back.
Okay.
All I was going to say was that Asmongold posted the perfect response. Posted the Pepe meme where he is, crying at a McDonald's in a McDonald's uniform, and he said, "Welcome home."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No, I know
welcome
the
home.
stream's still going. We just lost the stage, Fizz, which means I lost Marsupial.
Yeah, I'm back. So that's all there is to that.
Yeah.
It's a little Schadenfreude for your weekend.
Well, let's see. Do I have anything else that's good? I would like to get good news out of the way. Oh, here's something. Here's a little something. Octopath Traveler 0 devs are expanding on the series with a focus on freedom. So they've kind of the game's always been built around the idea of letting you do things in the order that you want to do. I referred to the first game as like a wagon wheel, where there's 8 spokes to the wagon wheel, which is kind of how wagon wheels are typically made. And there's like usually an inner part of the wheel, like the hub, and then there's like outer ring. And that's how it kind of starts, right? You could pick like one of the spokes and you pick up each of the people, and then you go to the next ring, and then there's another ring. So there's almost like a double ringed wheel. And you could do things for the most part in the order you want. Like, you have to progress through somebody's story chapter by chapter, but you don't have to go straight to their chapter 2. You could go to somebody else's chapter 1 and whatever order, as long as you've finished the prerequisite chapter. 2 did the same thing, but they also added some chapters where if you had done like the chapter 2 of 2 different people that have a shared intersection in their story, you get like an intersection chapter, like an interlude with them, which is also cool. Now they're trying to focus more on being even freer with the story than that. They're like, this is clearly one of the reasons people come to the game. So we want to give you even more options to just kind of go around and do whatever you want to do in the order that you want to do it. With one of the big pushes, like the core for the story being the mobile game Champions of the Continent, which didn't have... I mean, it had some character stories when you pulled them from the gacha, but that wasn't the driving point of the game like Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. They actually had these individual stories that were like power, wealth, and fame. And you got to go through these different bosses on these routes through the chapters of that. So I think that's what it sounds like they're going to do, is they're still going to have the individual character stories, but there might also be some disconnected major stories the characters can go through together, and they just want to give you more to do. I like that. I really love that the game just kind of lets you do things in the order that you want. So that's
Yeah.
amazing to hear.
Cool. That's not out yet, right?
No. That's the next one that's going to be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Octopath Traveler, for people who like turn-based RPGs, for people who like old Final Fantasy games and kind of want something up that alley, people who just really like semi-grindy, story-driven, narrative-driven, turn-based RPGs. It's one of the best ones you can pick up in the modern day. Looks beautiful, too. It's going to take you a lot of time to play it. Either of them. I think it's like a minimum of 60 hours if you know what you're doing to get through like everything. I spent 120 hours on it because that's the type of person I am. I have a grinding addiction. It's not because I couldn't figure out what to do. It's because I spent way too much time fighting monsters in the overworld. But they're great games. They remind me of like Square's answer to Paper Mario, where it's got overworld activities to do in that regard. But if a Final Fantasy game is written like a Shakespearean play, this game is written like the Canterbury Tales, which is still a pretty good compliment for it. So I'm excited for more of the series.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
You should stream it, because I know you've never gone through. And I have copies of it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have Octopath Traveler 1. You think I should do 1 and 2 and then 0?
Yeah.
I never have time.
I know. Or energy. Like, even when you have time, it's like, I don't feel like it.
I know. I'm going to pass out now. Well, I do have a new trailer
For?
something that maybe I don't want to tell you. It's a secret.
Oh, okay.
Can I show it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I don't think we'll have a problem with it. Things seem to be running well today.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
It's amazing
depends if Discord
usually,
wants to send it through.
Yeah, usually Fridays it's hit or miss. Let's see. That's weird. It's on the entire screen. My goodness. What is with Discord? Oh, there we go. All right. Can you see that?
You know what? It would probably help if I changed our window view. But yes, it did load up on my end. There we go.
Check this out.
I can tell I'm already going to be disappointed by this trailer.
What? This looks awesome.
Oh,
I
yep.
could stream this.
It is the new Hyrule Warriors. Yep.
That's right.
The problem is, like,
or
I just don't give a shit about like the Zonai and the stuff in the past at all.
I just like Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. I don't.
I just like the
Well,
gameplay.
I do, but I don't. Right? I liked the original Hyrule Warriors. I did not like Age of Calamity.
Yeah. I kind of did. I played a lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually I didn't 100% it, but man, I feel like I came pretty close.
Yeah, and not to sound like a broken record on it, but like the short answer for why I didn't like it was more of it was too in between both things. It wasn't enough a Zelda game, or it wasn't enough a Warriors game, right? It tried to teeter the edge, and it just didn't do enough for me in either direction because of that.
Well, they're effectively announcing 2 new characters, that Korok and this construct that can apparently fly.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know I'm going to play it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of like, I liked Breath of the Wild, so that's why I played Age of Calamity, even though by the time I was done with it, I kind of just didn't like the game. I think I
2
gave it
weeks.
a pretty bad. I think I said it was like a 4 out of 10. This one I would probably force myself to play if I liked Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like if I actually cared about what was going on back then, I would probably force myself to play it. But because I don't, it's like I just don't even know if I care to play it. Because the original Hyrule Warriors was strictly just a Warriors game that had Zelda characters in it, right? They weren't trying to be more Zelda, and because of that, I loved it. It knew exactly what it wanted to be. It mechanically didn't feel good for me to play Age of Calamity.
Sorry, I read the chat. I made the mistake of reading the chat.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
wise to apply for work at my local candy store? Well, if they have a position.
Yeah, I mean, is it like a temp job, that like a gig you're filling on that day, or are you applying to work there? Because you're not going to work there on the 30th, so that day doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah,
We're not going to
now.
hire you that day. Yeah.
Anyway, the interesting thing about it, interesting to me anyway, is that this one is they're saying it's canon. So unlike Age of Calamity, which was sort of
pseudo-canon or deutero-canon, it's like another timeline of things that could have happened.
Yeah, this is supposedly canon. It's all
it's telling the events that we didn't see.
Yeah. So we just saw brief cutscenes of the past.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Which again, that would be the thing that would make me play a game that mechanically I don't like as much. If I actually gave a shit about what was going on in the past of Tears of the Kingdom, right? So for a lot of people, that's probably a great thing. For me, you just lose me.
Well, I mean, we don't know what happened, so you know.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you know or not. It matters if I care. Like, you obviously are interested. You want to know. I can't be bothered to care if I tried.
Oh, well. Well, yeah, I think it's neat that while obviously, you know, I don't like the whole tendency, even though I loved, what's it called? The Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of of a Zelda game that doesn't star Link. I mean, I just
yeah, but I mean, if it's like a one-off thing every so often, it's like this is the Zelda game this decade. That's fine. Which I think, if you count the CDI games as games, it had been well over a decade since the last time Zelda started game. But now it's back to back, basically, right? Because Echoes was the last game to come out, I think.
I think so. But I will say that it's, you know, I spent a lot of time, a lot of time with Link in this particular either universe or time period or whatever between the two games. And, well, 3 games if you include Age of Calamity. But I'm happy to have a game where we get to meet different new characters.
Yeah.
But
also,
I wonder
Fizz,
if
that is
there's
factually wrong. Tingle does not star in more games than Zelda, because Zelda,
What?
prior to Echoes of Wisdom, had already had 2 games on the CDI. One where she actually played, the other one where she duo starred with Link, because she was around the entire game. She also kind of duo starred in what's that one? Spirit Tracks. Like, she was with Link the whole time as a spirit. You actually had to play her. While Tingle literally has only had 1 game.
I think he had like a game that was like a puzzle game.
Yeah, it was Tingle's. What was it? Fantastic Rosy Ruby Land or something like that. It was some name. Extravagant Rosy Ruby Land, I think, was the name of it.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody wants to remember the CDI games.
But even then, like, she co-starred with Link in Spirit Tracks because she was literally a playable character as a spirit the entire time. And
she always had her own
Echoes happened too. So she already beats Link, or not Link, Link stars everyone, beats Tingle, even if you don't count the CDI games.
Which, you know, Echoes of Wisdom was a great game. I will say it was way too easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you just, infinite ways to cheese everything. It's like
Absolutely.
once you get the Lionel, especially, it's like, okay, everything's easy now.
But I played most Zelda games except for maybe, let's see, 2 and Majora's Mask to be too easy as an adult. Not that easy. Like, that's still even easier than if I'm comparing it to other Zelda games. But I probably would have had even more enjoyment if I played this when I was 10.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, because I would have gotten more joy out of figuring out ways of choosing things when I was 10. While as an adult, it's kind of like, well, this is just the obvious thing to do.
Yeah. But like,
Water block everything.
well, yeah, exactly. Water block was the ultimate. I was just gonna say, like, it kind of depends on what the focus is. Like, Majora's Mask, the focus was on putting together these timelines and trying to figure out puzzles that you could complete in 3 days in a certain
The focus
way.
was beating the clock. That's what actually made it hard. Mechanically, it wasn't any harder than Ocarina of Time, except for like I think there were 2 fights that you could say was harder than anything in Ocarina of Time. But from a full-on gameplay perspective, mixing both mechanics and narrative, beating the clock is what made the game stressful because you're like, oh man, this thing literally will take all 3 days to do, and I fucked up one part, so now I just got to rewind and start all over from the beginning.
Yeah. Whereas I think that was a challenge, but in Echoes of Wisdom, it was like, figuring out what things to use to get around the puzzles. And that, in that particular game, I thought was just way too easy.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even just the fighting, it was the
And I don't think anybody will
logic
argue
puzzles.
that Link's Adventure is the hardest Zelda game out of all of them.
What, the Adventure of Link?
Yeah, Adventure Link, whatever. Zelda 2. I don't think anybody's going to argue that that's the hardest Zelda game.
Yeah, probably. Unless you count the second quest of the first Zelda.
I don't count the harder modes. I'm talking about the base game.
Yeah.
And out of the base games of all the Zelda games, if you just throw somebody into Zelda 2 for the first time, they're going to suffer. Maybe in a fun way. Like, I enjoyed it the first time I ever played it, but as a kid, I suffered like hell. You're going to suffer in that game.
Well, you probably played it younger than I did because it
Probably.
didn't even come out until I was 12, I think.
My parents already had it when I was born, so I think like the first time I tried playing that game, I was probably like 6, and I could not figure jack shit out.
Well, yeah, I will agree. Anyway, I'm excited about that. That's one of the games coming up in 2 weeks that I'm excited about. So,
Yeah.
and really, you can play as a Korok.
Yeah, I don't think any of the games I'm looking forward to are coming out until spring. There's
about
some like
Dragon Quest VII?
when's that one coming out?
February.
I am tacitly looking forward to it just because it's one that I've been recommended to play for basically my entire life since that game first came out. Like, everybody's been like, you should play that one, and I just never got around to playing it. So it would probably be a cool first time experience. But I'm just not like a huge Dragon Quest guy, so it's one of those ones where I know I'll enjoy it if I play it, but I'm not particularly looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I would definitely enjoy it more than playing the new Hyrule Warriors, if we're going to compare them. Like, I think I would look forward to playing that game a lot more. But they're already cutting content out of it. Like, it was confirmed that 3 islands are gone.
I guess, but didn't they...
It's for, like,
Wasn't it-
censorship reasons.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
Yeah. One of them is because one of the islands is a casino, and they're just, like, trying to get rid of gambling.
Yeah. Sigh.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's not real gambling.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a game.
Well, you like the Kanto remakes, right? Was it Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu? For Pokemon, the game corner was still in there, but they disabled the machines. They're just set pieces for you to get to the Team Rocket base. there's no coin exchange or anything. You can't actually gamble in game like you could originally. It seems to be. I don't know if it's an international push or if it's something local in Japan. I haven't looked into it, but it seems like for ratings reasons, you need to remove gambling to keep the rating low on your game.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh well. I've played just the beginning of 7. I just never played it all the way through. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, do you want to complain about a different 7?
Sure. Oh, what?
Let's
Final
see.
Fantasy?
Yeah. I'm trying to see where I have it. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually pull it up. I sent it to somebody else, I think. Let me go find it. Or did I send it to myself? I did. I sent it
Was
to
this
myself.
a recent interview?
Very recent interview with Naoki Hamaguchi. Oh, it's a Nintendo Life link. So, Nintendo Life, I find, is usually pretty straightforward about things. I don't usually have an issue with them at all. Especially when Ollie's the one writing. So, and this is an Ollie article. So, in a recent interview, Naoki Hamaguchi brought up that for anyone who's never played Final Fantasy VII at all, like any version of it, you didn't play the original, you haven't even played any of the sequels to the game, you haven't played the remakes now, that he thinks the definitive experience, the way you should play the game first, is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Some of his reasoning is mechanically, it is the type of game that would keep the interest of modern gamers more likely. Not even just mechanically, narratively, there's voice acting in this game. There wasn't in the original, and a lot of modern gamers are pretty uppity about needing voice acting in their games because they can't read anymore, I guess. But he was also like, from a narrative standpoint and from a visual standpoint, this is the best version of the game.
Yeah.
And some of the things he was saying, I couldn't help but laugh at because I personally think the remake is the worst version of the game because it just completely ruins the story of Final Fantasy VII. But obviously, as the producer / director of the game, he's got to sell the one he's working on.
Well, but isn't the remake a different story?
Technically, yes,
thought-
because of time travel.
So it's not even the same game.
I know. Absolutely, but it doesn't matter. Because most people still treat it as... A lot of people play the game, didn't even pay attention enough to realize that this wasn't the same story. They just assumed the time travel stuff was in the original as well because they've never played that. And the game does kind of make it clear that this is a change to the timeline if you're picking up on the context clues. But if you've never played the original and you're not paying super hard attention, it would be very easy for a new player to think that this is literally what the original story of Final Fantasy VII was.
Yeah. So it's kind of a stupid, idea that which version should you play? Well,
the original, obviously.
There is only one version.
Yeah.
The
I don't even think
remake is a different story.
Yeah, I don't even think you should play Crisis Core, even though it chronologically comes first. Because the way the storytelling happens is the world kind of unravels in release order, right? So it's like you're actually spoiling certain aspects about the game, and you probably understand them less if you play Crisis Core before you play 7.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it was made specifically as a prequel with the assumption that you already know the story, that it takes place before.
Yeah. You know what game actually I think handles unraveling perfectly, and it's too bad it's a gacha game, is Ever Crisis. Because even with the other two ones, you keep going back and forth to the main Final Fantasy VII story first. It's like, oh, you'll do Final Fantasy VII, then you'll do... what's it called? Crisis Core, then you'll go back and then you'll do like a First Soldier or whatever, and you go back and forth between them, but it's always back to 7.
Yeah.
They don't actually ever get you to a point in those other stories that spoil something from 7 before you've encountered in 7. Like, they did a really good job of picking the order of events for that game.
Yeah. Because Joseph says he wasn't even born.
Hey, good thing that doesn't matter. You know, I played tons of games that came out before I was born.
I have not.
Yeah, well, gaming was still new during your earlier life, so it's like you didn't have the opportunity for the most part.
I played Pong.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I played Pong.
This is one of the few ones that could be, right? Because all the interesting stuff didn't come out until you were already a kid.
Yeah. I actually didn't even realize until, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago,
How old
that
Pong
the
was.
Atari, well, no, that the Atari, how old the Atari 2600 was. Because that came out in 1997, or 1977, the year I was born. But obviously I didn't get one until like 6 or 7 years later.
Yeah. And there were a couple things on it that technically predated it coming out.
Yeah. But yeah, I would highly recommend. Is there even an upscale version?
Well,
I mean, I guess if you get
yes,
it on-
technically, right? On Switch, you could get it. There are console
Lazy
ports
Slim.
of the original 7. They're technically the PC port, but they've had some modifications to them because the original PlayStation version has been lost to the ages. They don't have the files anymore. They have deconstructed the PC version since then, though, to be able to fix some of the issues with it. So, like the MIDIs loop perfectly in the modern versions of the game, in a way that like the original PC port didn't. They would just like stop playing after a while because instead of being a MIDI, they were a like an MP3 or something like that. And they went back and they basically hollowed out and just put MIDIs back in their place and everything.
Yeah. Well,
They also added a speed up too. If you want the battles to go faster, you can go up to like ×4, I think.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I completely disagree. I would say play the first one. That way, when you play the remake, you will be properly disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Especially with how it completely ruins the atmosphere of the game. Like, we were talking about this when we were out earlier, that they just, when they made this game, even though Nomura was on the original project, you know, like, he worked on 7. Or the people who worked on this game just don't understand what made 7 7. And they took a game with some lightheartedness to it. There was some levity, a good sense of humor, but an overall like grungy and gloomy game. Right? It was a lot of heavy stakes, a lot of heavy atmosphere to it, and turned it into a Disney theme park.
Yeah,
It's kind of awful.
yeah. I'm just so shocked. Like, just listen to the voice they gave to Red 13. It's insane. Like, what the hell?
And even though he's only got, I think, one line compared to the voice he had in Advent Children, which was way better.
Yeah. I expected him to have a deep male voice, not sound like a child.
Yeah.
He sounds like a girl or a child.
Yeah, well, in Advent Children, I believe his voice sounded something like this for the one line that he had.
Yeah. It's, and I'm like, okay, he had one line.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal? It's just indicative of the whole thing. It's just like, why would they make such an awful choice? And then,
for most of the characters, I preferred the voices that they had back in Advent Children to the ones in this game. There's a couple that they kind of just sound the same, right? Like, there's not a big difference between the Advent Children and Kingdom Hearts voice for Sephiroth, also Dissidia, like the voices that he had for years, and the new guy. And what's funny is he got casted basically for the same reason that the new guy did. Both of them had previously played Superman before playing Sephiroth, including the Japanese version. Both Japanese Sephiroth voices had previously dubbed Superman. I don't know what the typecasting, other than I guess like Sephiroth is kind of like a dark Superman in their world, so I guess it makes sense. But it is a weird typecast that every Sephiroth actor has previously played Superman.
That's interesting. Well,
Cloud doesn't sound that off. He's one of the few voices I'm fine with, but a lot of the other ones, it's just like, you know who's a good Yuffie voice? Christy Carlson Romano was a good Yuffie voice.
Well, I mean, it's not just the voices; it's just everything. Like, I didn't mind. I kind of liked the part where you could play the piano. That was kind of cool. Little mini game, but like it just goes downhill from there. It's just like, and I didn't even realize because I haven't played it through, but I've been watching clips and it's like, oh my god, this is. I can't like. I almost feel like they're fake. There's no way this is in the real game.
Dude, I tried recently, because I still haven't been able to force myself to finish 16. I tried starting a little bit of remake to try to give myself a reprieve from 16, and I played 20 minutes of it, and it made me want to go back to playing 16 instead.
You can even look it up on even Gemini admits.
Yeah.
Some of the original's darker moments, like the story of Dine, were changed or censored, which many felt removed important thematic depth.
Yep.
More tedious side quests. And you were talking about the whole scene with the killer. What was it? The bees? Honeybees?
Oh, the honeybee inn. All right.
The honeybee inn was just terrible.
Yeah, everything about it was. But I mean, the worst part too, the thing that bothered me, and I didn't know this was a thing until I was watching other people complain about it. But it's like when I saw the scene, the same complaint immediately popped up in my head before they said it, and it was like the falling of the Sector 7 plate, right, where it gets crushed and everything, was a really cool scene in the original game. It was, low poly. It wasn't the most dynamic scene ever, but for what they had available, they used really good blocking for the scene. It had a good camera angle. It was very emotive. It said a lot about what was going on. People, like you saw basically people die in that scene. In the new one, it's turned into just like Hollywood blockbuster action schlock scene. They give you full coverage of President Shinra's like face and emotions, which were not shown in the original version. It was supposed to be ominous. You were supposed to imply what he was feeling, and that led a lot to the interpretation of the scene. And for some reason, Kate Sith showed up in the new version, and even though he wasn't there before. I'm like, Kate Sith, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, I just I wanted to let you know I'm in the game, that I'm going to be showing up soon. I didn't want to feel left out.
Yeah, you'll see me in the next one. Mm-hmm. Was he in the first one or the?
I don't remember. I don't think so, because I think the first one ended before you actually left Midgar, right? And like literally the first thing you do in the next bit was go to the gold saucer.
Yeah. Sigh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, just bringing up bad memories.
The problem is that they just never stop making Final Fantasy VII. That is the issue with Final Fantasy VII. They don't let you miss the game because it never goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'll shift briefly to a couple other games that are coming up, and one of them real close. 6 days from Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake.
Mm-hmm.
They added a girl, and I like that decision, actually.
You do? What are you?
Yeah, why not?
You're some type of hetero man who likes women?
Well, well, it's funny because I didn't know who it was at first, but then when I watched trailers and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's the little sister of the kind of dumb guy that wears green, the Prince of Canuck.
Oh, okay. I barely remember anybody from those games. So.
Oh, well, I played it recently.
Yeah.
The Princess of Canuck is kind of feisty, and yeah, is a good choice for adding a fourth character.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually can't wait to play the first one because that game, the original, was so short and, lacked a lot of depth because, it's what, 40 years old almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's like the oldest
I'll be
JRPG.
interested. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they made that one more interesting. It looks like there's some cool stuff added. But that's coming up, and then let's see. I already said Age of Imprisonment. What was the next? Oh, this is going to be all of our favorites, of course. Is Solo Leveling, the video game.
Oh, we talked about that last time, and I was like, it's gonna
know.
be shit.
Yeah, I know. I was just kidding. But actually, in December, coming right up, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Excited about that. And Octopath Traveler 0.
I want to be excited about it. There's nothing about it that have made me have reservations about it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I never did play through any of the Metroid Prime games, but I liked them. So
I like all of them.
It'll be interesting to see.
I might like the Prime series more than the actual classic side-scroller series. I know you don't, but I personally...
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Wouldn't quite go that far, but...
it's just a personal thing. And also because I've just spent way too much time playing Hunters specifically. I think that's my favorite game in the entire franchise.
I will be interested in seeing how it works with the controls, because I know they redid the controls of the original for the Switch. I imagine it'll be like that.
I'm only excited that I get to play with mouse controls in a first-person shooter.
Oh, is that supported with this?
Yes, they when they announced the game, they said it was going to have mouse controls, so you'll be able to use your right hand Joy-Con as a mouse, so I can actually first-person shooter Metroid Prime for the first time.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Huh. I think I'm really going to like it. Personally.
A lot of crazy people are like, man, I only play first-person shooters with a joystick. I'm like, that's fine. That's a loser opinion, but that's fine. A mouse and keyboard is
a
superior.
joystick?
Yeah, like playing with an actual controller or whatever with joysticks. And it's like, I've played them when I don't have an option otherwise, but mouse and keyboard is just superior to playing with some type of traditional controller for specifically first-person shooters. Because most of them where you do have a controller, they'll have some aim support built into the system because they know you need it with a controller compared to having a mouse.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, you definitely do. I could see people saying I only play first-person shooters with a mouse. But who says they only play it with a controller?
There are tons of people. Back in the day, which we're going to talk about this game coming up soon. Back in the day when I was in high school, we had Combat Evolved, right? Built just in every computer in the school. We would sneak around with a USB and we would just install the original Halo onto every single computer without the teachers knowing. So you could basically play it on the network from anywhere in the school with anybody who's playing on the network, right? My CMAT class, my Computer Multimedia Animation Tech, which was a 3D modeling and animation class, when we got done, we would all just hop into Halo and play against each other, right?
Yeah. Oh, the Halo 1 remake is coming out.
That's what we're going to be talking about. But the thing I was getting at is I actually knew some people who would bring an Xbox controller to school to plug into the computers because they only wanted to play Halo with an Xbox controller, which I get for tons of people who, this was, Halo 3 was already out by the time we were playing the original Halo in these classes. For a lot of people, they've only ever played Halo on an Xbox. But for XP and up, you could play Combat Evolved, the original Halo. It came out at the same time on PC. And there was a Halo 2 version for Vista, That version has been lost to Vista, but I mean, now with the Master Chief Collection, you can play Halo 2 on the computer as well. So some of us, like me, I had been more used to playing Halo on computer than I was on Xbox. I always preferred it on PC. But it's be like, why would you play Halo with a mouse and keyboard? Because they didn't even think about it. Like, this is kind of almost the native way to play the game.
Yeah.
But before we get to Halo, one quick thing I want to say. Coming to the Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade will be a float of or a balloon of Mario in commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the original Super Mario Brothers game. It'll be a traditional 3D model that looks more like the ones you use from the games and not like the slightly tweaked one in the movie, which was like a lot of people's concern with the first announcement before they got to see the model. Because like, well, the movie is the big hot thing right now, so obviously they would use that version. It's like, no, it looks like the one from the renderings for Mario 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy. So there's just going to be a big Mario that's going to be floating down the street with all of the other balloons. Like, I don't know where. We don't know what the order is going to be. It could be like behind Snoopy for all we know. There's been Pikachu in the past, so it's not even the first time that something associated with Nintendo has been in the parade. But Mario's rival has been in the parade sooner than he has. Sonic's been in there. So it's about time that Mario has been in that parade at least once.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, but
yeah,
I guess it's been up to Nintendo.
I think Pikachu is literally the only Nintendo-adjacent character that has been in there. But let's talk about Halo, right? It's not good. It's not good talking about Halo. I mean, there's a couple good things, I guess, about it. Some things that made me want to be hopeful, but I know it's going to be shit. They are doing a full remake of the original Halo that is called Halo Campaign Evolved. Play on the original title, Combat Evolved, where it's going to be a new version of the campaign. The campaign itself from the game has evolved. Catchy. I actually appreciate that name. That's not one of the things I'm criticizing them about. No, whoever in marketing came up with that name, good on you. That's nice. But the cool thing that's going to be, it's going to have split screen, like the original, split screen co-op, but the co-op is actually going to be bigger than it was. They're actually going to have 4-player co-op instead of 2, because it was originally only 2-player co-op for the campaign of the original Halo. Now it'll actually have all 4. The game was always designed for up to 4-player split screen anyway with the original, so it was kind of weird that they didn't design the campaign around 4-player. But whatever.
Yeah.
There'll be new weapons, new visuals. They're even adding a brand new prequel mission to kind of like set things up. I don't think the game needs that. I think you learn everything you need about the story that's going on through the game, that you don't need a prequel mission. But if they want to add more content, that's not the problem. It will not have multiplayer outside of co-op. It won't have like the traditional thing that everybody knows Halo for, the competitive multiplayer where you could do teams or free-for-all or anything like that, which is a questionable decision. There was a bunch of other things about it, but the more I read, the more I question, because they're also talking about this is going to be a Halo for modern gamers, and you know, I cringe anytime people say stuff like that. Are they just going to make it boring? Are they going to take what was probably one of the most fun, trend-setting shooters of all time? Like, the only thing that was more trendy than Halo when it came to shooters was Doom, right? A game that completely set the industry for a genre for decades after it came out, right? Because I think we're over 2 decades since the first game came out. Are they going to take this fun, interesting game that had a certain level of horror to it? And I think a lot of people forget that there was a level of horror in the original Halo, it starts off as like a big military conflict. But as you start getting deeper and deeper into the bowels of this ring world, that is a giant device that's, you find out, built to kind of just annihilate life in a galaxy in case like the flood gets loose. As you start getting into the flood zone and dealing with the robotic AI that is supposed to activate the Halo in case things go wrong, there are some elements of horror to it. Dark tunnels, things coming out you from other direction. You've got to actually have your co-op partner 6 if you're playing together. It is technically slightly easier to play single-player mode because of the way the different modes are balanced. Are they going to take most of that out? Or are they just going to make it a very bland military first-person shooter that lacks the essence of Halo? And it's something that I feel like, knowing the direction they've taken the modern games, they might do. Because it's not Bungie working on it anymore.
Yeah, I have no opinion. I never played Halo.
Yeah, you're not much of a first-person shooter guy. I think like Metroid Prime is probably like most of your extent of first-person shooters.
I get.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting that they're not doing a multiplayer. Like, if I was going to play, I'd prefer to play a campaign. So.
Yeah, which was like the coolest part of the original Halo. I think the campaign is what makes the original Halo such a memorable game that people want to go back and replay like console generations later. I have tons of great memories about it. I remember me and my buddy, Brian, cool guy. I still text with him here and there. He was the dude who, like, his house is the one that we would all spend our weekends on. And me and him were just in his room, and we decided, hey, you want to play Halo on Legendary? We'd never done the campaign before. And we're like, yeah, sure. Let's just hop straight into the hardest difficulty. What can go wrong? And we spent genuinely all night into the morning, right? Like an all-nighter, just playing the campaign. It had gotten to the point that near the end, there is a mile stretch that you have to drive through while the timer is going down because the place is going to explode and you need to get on the evac ship. But there's a lot of stuff stopping you on this huge bridge, this like runway that you're driving your Warthog down. And the issue is I was slightly better at the game than him. Maybe more than slightly. And it was fine enough. Like, one person could carry the fights before that, but you needed somebody driving well and gunning well. If you're playing it single player, they give you an NPC that does the other one, and they're pretty competent at it. That scales up with the difficulty. He just couldn't handle either of them. Right? Like, I could drive well enough, or I could gun well enough. But I couldn't be in both places at the same time, and that's where that campaign ended. I've since then beaten it with other people, but that was the first time I ever did it. It took us so long. I think we reset that mission 15 times before we just gave up, like, this is not happening. We kept swapping controllers, like, trying to see if, like, moving me to the other spot. Or actually, you didn't have to swap the controller. I think we just moved seats because you pick which seat you're going to go in. But we kept swapping positions, and it just was not happening. One time, like, he literally took a ramp wrong and just flew us right off the bridge. And it's like, okay, well, that's it for the run. We made it all the way to the very end, but we couldn't finish it. We couldn't get onto the evac ship. But it's stuff like that, you know, like the game had so much life, so much flavor, and such a strong identity that, like, I remember that experience. What? Has it been like 2 decades later?
Yeah.
Great games, honestly. Halo 2 has a strong campaign as well. I think Halo 3 might be the last one that's worth playing. Because, like, the first 3 all had pretty strong campaigns. The first one is the best out of them. It's probably, as far as first-person shooters go, the most well-balanced campaign per difficulty out of any game. Like, they painstakingly made sure each of the difficulties were appropriately balanced, and you knew that you could feel which one your skills belonged in. just from playing it. They don't make games like that anymore. Like people just don't make them like they used to. They actually changed the AI's kind of like operations based on the difficulty. Like they use different tactics and stuff instead of just making things more bullet sponges.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's amazing how homogenized and uninspired
Yeah.
the games
And
have gotten.
that's the real thing that I'm worried about, right? It's like the first one was balanced so well. Is there even going to be a point of playing this game on other difficulties, or are they just going to turn things into bullet sponges?
Yeah, it's a modern remake. I guess we'll find out. Is that when does that come out?
They do have a date for it. I think. Well, I think it's just set to release in 2026. I don't think we have a date yet. So sometime next year. Technically not the first. Well, it's the first remake. They've done a remaster of the game before, which was the remaster is pretty cool. It's the one that brought 343 Industries into being the Halo dev. They haven't really done a good job since then, but they did this cool thing where you could actually toggle the visuals between the old and the new in the remaster that they did back in the day. But this will be an actual full remake this time around. And it will be on everything, which is another first for Halo. Halo's been on PC for a while. Yeah, technically from the beginning, but fully on PC, like as they make new things for a while now. But this one will have it on basically every system that it can play on, including the PlayStation. It'll be the first time Halo will ever be on a Sony product, which has always been Microsoft's biggest competitor. You will be able to get this on PS5.
That's cool. Kind of crazy.
Oh yeah.
Will it be on PS Plus? That's what I don't know.
Probably not. At least not at first. Maybe later, like way later. But
Maybe. Perhaps.
But it's like even the tagline that they said in the interview for it is like, this is Halo for everyone. It's like, yeah, but if you make a game for everyone, you're really making a game for no one, really.
Yeah.
You know? Like the rating can be E for everyone, but that just means it's okay if everyone wants to try it. You still need to make a game that's targeted for people who will enjoy that game.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having an audience that's not everyone.
Yeah. Because when you try to make it everyone, it's like, well, there go the Halo audience is actually gone now.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the thing is, gamers are diverse enough that there are plenty of people who would love your game, but if you make it for people who wouldn't, it's impossible. It's impossible to please them. You're going to end up pleasing nobody.
Yeah, I was actually having a conversation with my brother earlier where we were talking about just how in shambles the industry is. And like we followed up with each other where he's like, the problem is video games are being made by people who don't love video games and for people who don't love video games. Right? Like it's off kilter on both ends. There are people who don't actually want to just make a good game because they love games. They're like, this would be a fun game that I would enjoy playing. And they're making it not for people who would love to play that game. It's corporate people telling you to make a game for the lowest common denominator to be able to play, and they may not even like your game.
Yeah.
But they do like some mindless thing that will pass the time for them.
Right. And I mean, you know, you could expand your your fan base by like giving options of like different difficulties can do that.
Oh yeah.
As long as you focus on your original fan base.
Halo had an easy difficulty. Like, anybody can get through the easy difficulty campaign on Halo.
Yeah. Exactly. But, well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I have no opinion whatsoever about Halo. I just,
Well, and I also haven't seen enough from it to actually criticize. These are just, it was a roundtable reveal, so they were talking about it more than actually showing anything off. And it's just the way that they've been talking about it that sets off all my red flags. I could see a full trailer like a month from now and see how the gameplay is and be like, okay, I've completely changed my mind about this game, you know?
Yeah. Well, did you know that basically a remake of the original Plants vs. Zombies came out yesterday?
Yes, we've talked about it already.
We have?
Yes, briefly.
When? Like months ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh.
It was like when it was announced.
You don't have to say we've talked about it again when it's clear that I didn't remember. I was just, I was looking for stories, and I was like, oh, Plants vs. Zombies replaying it. I've recently played the original that I still have on my phone. Oh my God, it's awful. Not that it was awful at first, but
It's all the stuff they've added, right?
So much shitty monetization. It's unplayable. I mean, you now have to watch ads between every level. And and there's like shit on the screen, like ads on the screen that prevent you from tapping where you need to tap. It's insane.
What if I play the original full purchased version that I own?
I think if you paid money for it, it might be better. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like I shouldn't have to watch ads for something I paid for.
I don't remember if I mean, was it ever free?
I don't know. I played this on Origin, like way back.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it since it came out on iOS. But what was interesting though is that the remake Replanted is not on mobile. That'll be interesting if I try it out with a controller. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I've never played it on mobile. Keyboard all the way. I was playing it on PC.
Oh, but you had a mouse.
Yeah, mouse and keyboard. But there were keyboard controls for it. You could hit buttons and things would pop down.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if the Switch one lets you use the mouse. Maybe I'll take a look.
So one of the other big concerns going on at Microsoft right now is we've heard recently that within this last year, upwards of like 30% of the code at Microsoft's main offices have been produced by AI. I don't know if you've heard that, but I've been seeing that everywhere. Like upwards of like a third almost, which is a lot when you think about how much code is going through Microsoft's main offices at any point in time.
How did they figure that out?
It was in an interview. Like the actual like boss of Microsoft said this out loud.
Honestly, considering how much of my code in the last just in the last month or two has been AI generated. I mean, if they're doing it right,
I don't think they're doing it right. Especially with all the borks happening. Like, have you seen everything going on with recent Windows 11 updates and stuff?
Yeah, there was something recently that I can't remember that bricked some computers.
Yeah,
something.
I don't think they've been using the AI right.
I guess.
No, but over at because they've been encouraging people to use the AI, like actively encouraging the people at Microsoft to use it.
Honestly, I think that's good.
Right. Over at Xbox, though, apparently that sort of mandate has not been broadened to them. And Phil Spencer says that he is actually just leaving it up to the individual development teams as to whether they want to use AI or not. No top-down mandates. Making a top-down mandate like that is not really a path to success, in his own quotes. It's like, on the creative side, he's just letting the teams decide whether they want to, which I think is probably for the best.
That's kind of what my company's doing. I mean, well, they've been encouraging us to at least try it and see what we think. But if, you don't like it, they're saying, okay.
Yeah, no, at Microsoft, it's kind of like a top-down mandate at their main offices that you kind of have to.
No, that's... Yeah. I'm saying, I like the Xbox approach better.
He's actually...
I don't know, I mean...
been trying to. There's like another quote from him saying that like Xbox hasn't always been very protective of its creative teams. They haven't been doing a good job of them, especially because, recently they've been buying a bunch of stuff and then firing off teams, right? And this was at California's Paley International Council Summit that they are planning on being more protective of the development teams over at Xbox Studios because it's very, very important, especially with the competition that they're in right now. So it seems like they are trying to at least change their mode of operations.
Frankly, if they're concerned about the competition, they need to embrace AI. I'm sorry, but they just do. Because I bet their competition's going to.
Maybe. Right.
I'll just say, look, at my company, when I first started, and this hasn't changed, there has been a laundry list of, basically a to-do list that is approximately 2 years long.
Yeah.
And if we want to get to some of this stuff in a reasonable amount of time, again, at my company, I don't think they're going to be firing people because, we don't need them anymore because AI is doing it all for us. We just are genuinely improving our productivity and getting through that to-do list faster and faster because we're not saying, hey, go and add this feature. It doesn't even work that way. It's just like, oh, I can't get this function to work. It's really complicated. Analyze this and figure out where I'm going wrong.
Yeah.
And give me some ideas, and then it'll rewrite stuff. I mean, actually, just this week, I'm deploying a new version of some, network communication code that I couldn't get to work to my satisfaction. It worked fine. Nobody else noticed. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was fast enough. It got errors that only I ever saw that were annoying to me. I sicked AI on it, and it was like, oh, here's what you're doing wrong. Let me redo this for you. And it's like, oh my God, this works so much better. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, here's my problem, right? I don't think AI is going to make the gaming industry better. I think it's only going to make it worse. And it's not because of AI. It's because of the gaming industry. Right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you have to do it the right way.
Well, the problem is that the AAA industry is creatively bankrupt. Right?
Yeah.
And having AI help you isn't going to solve it because AI is creatively bankrupt. You actually need some vision behind it to actually get it to do cool things anyway.
Absolutely.
It just only does more of what it's been taught to do.
Yeah.
Here's a good quote from ex-PlayStation boss. What was his name? The former one that stepped down and he's been shit-talking the whole industry now. Sean Layden, right? I've been loving a lot of the stuff from Sean Layden because he's just like, yeah, I'm not in charge anymore. Let me just start throwing shit around because you guys deserve it. And he's like, the games industry is littered with Fortnite clones and people trying to do Overwatch with different skins, but they need to keep dreaming if they're just trying to get big sacks of money, because for most it doesn't happen. And it's like, most of what he was talking about in this is just how creatively bankrupt all these people are. They see one thing that works. They don't understand why it works. They don't understand how to make it work itself. And he even says, too, I don't see that changing anytime soon with the expansion of the indie market and sadly the proliferation of AI, because he knows how these people work. Like, he knows how they're going to use it. He used to run this stuff. It's like, yeah, things are only going to get worse if it keeps going down the track it's currently going.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. It's just, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is that, you know, you have to have the ideas. You can use AI to like make it faster and easier to like do the sort of the rote stuff that, like, oh, you know, I don't know, to do the functionality that you normally have to spend way too much time programming. That has nothing to do with creativity.
Yeah.
It's just like, I gotta get this damn thing to work. But if you're, it's not going to improve game. It's not going to improve games that were going to be bad to begin with.
Yeah.
It could make games potentially less buggy, again,
Or more
if you use
buggy,
it.
right? If somebody who's bad at or doesn't even bother to proofread, doesn't even go over the code or anything like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But like, it has the potential to make game development faster and potentially less buggy. But it's not going to make them better if your idea is, you know, I'm going to make, you know, a game about diversity and, you know, political shit.
Well, because these
like,
models,
no.
right? These machine learning models, all they do is they can give you more, what's the term I'm looking for? More content, more words, right? Like they can get you more things faster than you could, but they kind of squish towards the mean in quality.
Yeah. And they definitely have to, you know, we were talking about it earlier. The AI, even the development stuff, is biased towards using fewer tokens.
Yeah, for
like,
efficiency.
You know, yeah, basically not using its full power. And it's like, well, but if Microsoft has its own and they can tell it, hey, we want the good stuff, you know?
Yeah. But even then, it's still just going to get you the better end of squishing towards the mean.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. I mean, you can also tell it things like, you know, make this dialogue not sound like it was written in AI. You can do that.
Yeah, but the problem is you still need some competent person to look over it that knows what good dialogue looks like, right? Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not.
No. I just want people out there who might be listening to this not to get their hopes up like, oh, I can make everything with AI. I don't need these individual talents. It's like, well, you're going to make something that is at best mediocre if you do that.
Yeah, I will say that usage of AI in programming is its own talent stack. You can't, if you have never programmed, it's kind of like the next stepping stone. You need to learn how to program and program well first. And once you do that, it's like, okay, I don't have time to learn all the new APIs.
Yeah.
All the new.
You need to at least have some knowledge of what good programming looks like when you stare at it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why, you know, I hate to sound elitist, but when I was running my company, I had some real problems with people who only had an associate's degree in programming. I couldn't get them to learn good programming. And so I just, you know, I'm really biased towards people with a bachelor's degree, at least, if not a master's degree.
Yeah, because if you're dealing with somebody who has had that little experience in schooling, you kind of almost need to move them into like an apprenticeship program where they have to shadow somebody to learn the rest of what they're missing.
Yeah. And like this new kid that we hired just a few months ago or earlier this year, he has a master's degree in computer science. He is, you know, he has no experience, but his base fundamentals are way better than mine ever were.
Yeah.
He's really impressive. But you have to approach AI as kind of like someone with an associate's degree. You know?
Maybe it's like, it might be somebody with a certificate.
Yeah, maybe somebody who just, you know, dabbled with it. But, you know, some of them are better than others, obviously. You know, we don't need to get into specifics, but I will say that you have to train it even more, because out of the box, it's going to be that person who just, fiddled with Pascal as a hobby. You need to continue training and training and training. It's not going to be as cheap and easy as people think.
You also need to understand the limitations of what you're working with. Like, you can't expect it to do things that are outside of its training model, which a lot of people will just go in thinking like, oh, it's AI. It's like a genie in a bottle, and I can just wish for whatever I want.
Yeah, you have to create a new training model for it, and that's not easy. I mean, that can take months just to get it to where you already are. And then, I think it's going to be a talent in and of itself, at some point. But people aren't realizing that. They're just like, oh, they just do it for me, and then pump utter shit. So.
It's like, the same thing with the art, where you've got a bunch of people being like, oh, look how good the art that these models are pumping out is. I don't even need an artist anymore. But then you have an artist look at it and it's like, I can tell you have no eye for this at all if you think that's better than an artist just because it has certain technical abilities that other artist may not have. Its design is shit.
Yeah, and that's people are gonna maybe eventually realize this. But like, you see ads for, oh, you can make a mobile app with absolutely no programming experience whatsoever with this AI. And I'm like, no, you can't. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you can't.
And they'll make like the whole ad in AI. Like, this thing looks awful. I hate this. I hate everything I'm looking at. And I could tell because it's like, it's the same, just like same angle, same shot over and over. It's only like a looped shot or whatever that cuts to another loop shot. And the lighting's awful. There's nothing inspired about it. It's like, please let me get to the skip point of this ad faster than most other ads I've seen.
Yeah. All I'll say, the last thing I'll say on this is that for experienced programmers who know what they're doing, know what good code is, and know what needs to get done, it can make them better. But for people who aren't that, there's no shortcuts. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just going to be a disaster for people. Mediocre at best, if not utter shitty code. It might change in the future, but that's where we are now.
You could just go with what's his last name? Is it Plumber? Dave? Dave's Garage, right? Yeah, you go with his mentality. He's like, just learn assembly first. Everything's easier after that. It'll teach you better habits.
Yeah, but oh my God, my assembly class, I think I got a D in assembly college. I mean, mostly because I couldn't understand a word the Indian professor said.
Oh, that's understandable. Yeah.
But no, I got an A in C++ freshman year.
You want to talk about building good fundamentals? Like, you'll learn them with assembly.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be useful though.
No.
I'd sooner learn C++. Because once you learn C++, you can extrapolate that out to C# and JavaScript and Python and
I think he was just saying something along the lines of like, everybody I've worked with who started with assembly before doing anything else were just better at the people who didn't.
Oh, I'm sure. Because there were things that you had to think about that nobody ever thinks about anymore. Memory management and logic, and it's like.
And a lot of it, because you were just doing it, you do it in your head before you even got to the machine.
Yeah, I mean that's how we end up with things like memory leaks.
Yeah,
because people who start out with a very high level language like C#, they just don't think about that stuff.
Yeah,
and if you're in assembly, you have no choice because if you have a memory leak,
it becomes evident immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. He's a smart guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, he gave us so many of the things that are still in like Windows today. Like, we wouldn't have a task manager without him, really.
Yeah, he invented Task Manager. Yeah. That's cool.
So if he gives advice on something, I'm inclined to follow it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad idea in theory if you've
got the time for it. Yeah.
It's not necessary. You can go back to C++. At least that's how I started. So I'm biased.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good place to wrap up the show. A little bit of a humorous point, so we weren't miserable. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry there have been less streams this week, but like yesterday just wasn't working. But we'll see ya again, no later than Monday for Super Serial Showtime, and maybe I'll stream a little something beforehand. So you guys take it easy and share this out with everybody you know, especially the people who you hate.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.